Now, just for those who've been sitting there a little while, we had some wave music on. I'm going to put the wave music back on just so we can take some deep breaths with eyes closed just for about a minute, just to settle. So I'll just share that screen. So if you've got glasses on, take them off, and deep breaths in and deep breaths out, and try to breathe in time with the music of the waves. Okay. So what we're going to do tonight is a practice that I'm sure none of you will have done before. It's a Chinese Buddhist practice that I learned from a person called Robert Peng. And this is a newer person that I've come across, and he's just a marvelous spiritual teacher. He's about my age. And I want to read just a tiny bit of the beginning of his story, because he has a really interesting story of how he learned his abilities and how he learned to, really about his master. So I'll just read a little bit about that, because when he shared this practice with myself and the other people who were in his class, he said this is one of the many practices that they did in the mountainous Buddhist monastery where his master was in China. And he said, so every morning they would do it to the sun, and every evening they would do it to the moon. It was one of many practices that he did. I met my spiritual master, Xiao Yao, when I was 8 years old, a boy suffering from a heart condition. He had this sort of condition that his heart would just become very painful, and he couldn't go to school, which was a great blessing, because that's how he met his master. As far as I could tell, he was a simple, kind man who recounted colourful Chinese folk tales with great animation. Well, that was how the master got the boy interested, because he was only 8. I loved all the stories he told me, but as I look on our adventures, I now realise that none of them compare to the tale of the journey we shared together. Through my youthful eyes, Xiao Yao looked like an ordinary man, although in actuality he was a high-ranking Buddhist monk who possessed extraordinary spiritual powers that rivaled those described in his epic stories. He had spent most of his life meditating and praying in a peaceful monastery, perched high in the misty peaks of Hunan province in China. Then one day the world around him was suddenly uprooted. I won't read that because it's a little bit long, but I'll just tell you in a few sentences. In 1966, because of that was the beginning of the Chinese Revolution, which he calls the Chinese disaster. He said that's what they call it in China, the Chinese disaster. He said it went for 10 years, so 1966 to 1976. And it basically meant anything religious, anything spiritual, anything energetic was not only not allowed, but it was very dangerous for those practices. You could be sent to jail, your family, you could be killed. It was a very terrible time for all spiritual things in China. So when the Chinese Revolution happened, all the monks in the temples and monasteries all had to go back home to their families or to where they came from. So at this stage, Xiao Yao was actually in his early 80s when this happened, but he looked about 40. Robert actually thought he was about 40, but he was actually 80. And he was an orphan. He was an orphan. That's how he came to be in the monastery in the first place. So he'd spent his entire life in the monastery. He had no family to go back to. And so he just started it, but I don't think he cared, even though he was 80. By then he was very enlightened Buddhist monk. So he just wandered around Chinese province until for some fate, destiny, he got this job, a very, very menial job as a boiler room keeper across the road from young Robert. And Robert went on these adventures because he was so bored from not going to school, and met the master in the boiler room. And from then on, their great teaching association started. But Robert said very wisely, the master, he couldn't say anything spiritual things to him directly because it would have been dangerous for the boy. The boy wasn't old enough to know when to keep his mouth shut. Basically, it would be dangerous for his family. So what he did is that he asked the boy, would you like to learn martial arts? Because in the Chinese Revolution, they were allowed to learn martial arts so long as there was no spiritual side to it. But martial arts of that sort is all spiritual, it's all energy. That's what QiGong is. It's energy through the body. But he just taught the boy for many years in that way as a physical practice, and taught him all the energy things without saying the words. Then at the end of the Chinese Revolution, when Robert was still at school, the master had to go back to his monastery because the Chinese Revolution was over. And this was very sad for Robert. But from then on, every school holidays, he would travel to the monastery until the master died, which was about 6 years from that time. So he'd go there. And it took all day to get to him. I had to take a long, slow train, then a bus, then 5 hours hiking up the mountain to the monastery. So he did this at the end of school, and he did it at university until the master died. So I won't read anymore because I've told you the whole story myself, except the last little bit. Xiao Yao embodied the benefits of Qigong. He constantly radiated an aura of happiness and peace that enriched the lives of everyone he touched. From the first moment I met him to the last time I saw him, he exuded this sparkling quality with unwavering ease. By all reasonable accounts, he should not have been a happy man, certainly not when we first met. Xiao Yao was then 82 years old. He had lost all the privileges, status, and authority associated with his former rank as a senior monk. He was working at an undesirable job 7 days a week under meagre conditions with no hope of advancement. He had lost contact with his former colleagues and disciples, and had no family or living relatives. But it didn't bother him at all because he was a master, and he'd spent his entire life developing that capacity, that inner capacity to be happy and peaceful no matter what, and to feel loved by life and loved by the universe. So when Robert taught the class this practice, it took quite a long time because he would go through it slowly. I'm just going to show you the whole practice just one thing, and we'll just keep doing it. And if we don't do it perfectly, which we won't, it doesn't matter. We'll just do it. So there's two aspects of it that I'll just need to explain first. One is a breathing thing, because breathing and chanting in Buddhist tradition, and actually every tradition, spiritual tradition, it's very particular. So one part of this is a breathing in, but when you're breathing in, it has to be through your mouth. But as Robert explained, it's not normally we breathe in and out our nose. It's not good to breathe in and out your mouth, because he said your nose is designed for breathing, your mouth is not. You'll get problems if you breathe in and out your mouth. But he said in this case, they're breathing in a certain way so the air travels around your mouth before it goes into your throat. And the way we're doing it is you have to smile, a really big smile like this, and then you breathing. So your teeth are, your front teeth are slightly over your back teeth, just like that, just resting like that. And you're breathing in like this. It's a bit slurpy. So it'll make a noise. So that when we get to this bit of the exercise, that's how you're going to breathe in. So you have to just think big smile, teeth together, not just gently together. It'll work. The other thing that's quite a very particular practice is he says it's a gulping thing. This is when you're taking in either the moon or the sun. Basically, you're just actually, you're in a physical form, you're just actually gulping. You're just going like as if you're gulping up something. And then when you're doing it, you're swallowing. So you gulp and then you're swallowing. If you've got saliva, he says that's good because in the saliva is energy. If you don't, doesn't matter, just so you gulp, swallow. When we do it, don't go like this. I'm turning to the side so you can see me. Don't go with your neck. Don't go. That's wrong. Go. We'll be standing up to do it, but you're going from your back. So you're actually going as if you're doing like that. So do it as much of a movement as if you're doing like a wave through your back. So just practice that. Swallow if you got enough concentration to do it. We'll be doing it standing up, but it's more of a whole movement. I'll go through it once, but you won't remember, but it doesn't matter. I'll just do it once standing up. Then we'll all stand up and we'll just slowly do the thing. So you only really need to see my upper body. We'll have our glasses off, anyone who wears glasses, all the old folk, not the young ones. We're standing relaxed. We're breathing in and arms, hands left in front of right on our forehead or third eye. You can just practice it while I'm doing it. So left in front of right. So it's got this sort of, this is a very common posture thing. Left in front of right, like that. So left in front of right on the forehead, breathe in. Open the screen, breathe out. It's the screen to sort of be available to either the sun or the moon. Now, this is the bit where we're doing the breathing thing. So the next thing is going to be one long in breath. If you can't make it in one breath, because there's about 3 different movements, don't worry, just do what you can do. So this is probably the most sort of physical part. You have to go all in one movement. You're going to breathe in through this thing, that thing, and we're going to go as if you're capturing the sun or the moon. So you're still breathing in. So you're out there and you go, bend down and you go like that. And then you're still breathing in. You're going down with your hands, up, and and then still breathing in, gulp, swallow, breathe out. So it's really breathe in, breathe out. All of this is an in, gulp, out. So it's in, out, but this one is like swallow. That's a whole thing. So don't worry if you can't get it straight away. We're just going to do it. So standing up, my lovelies. Oh, I forgot to say thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you to the dear people who are going to listen to the recording later on. I'm very grateful that you come. Okay, so standing nice and relaxed, shaky hands. Just shake your whole body for a bit. Just get rid of some of that built up energy. Shake to the side, shake to the other side, shake your leg, shake your other leg, shake your leg, shake your other leg, shake your hips. Shake, 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 shake. Get the energy in your body moving. And stand still for a moment with your eyes closed. Slightly bent knees, feet about shoulder width, spine nice and straight. And just gently breathing in and out. Now, when we start, you'll probably have to open your eyes because you won't remember the practice, but that's okay. As we do it, keep doing it. Just close your eyes as soon as you can with various parts. Breathing in. Hands to forehead. Left in front of right. Open the screen, breathing out. Ready as you are, breathing in with that thing. 1, 2, 3, breathing in. So it's quite a quick movement, as if you're grabbing the sun or the moon. Go down, up, gulp, swallow, down. Good job. We'll just keep going. In, out, in, down, up, gulp, swallow, down. Rest one breath, in and out, in and out. We don't have to do it continuously. There is a rest in the middle. In, breathe up to and out, open the screen. Ready? In. Hands down, hands up, and gulp, swallow, down. Relaxed breathing for a minute. I'm just going to close my eyes, but you just do what you need to do. Hands up to forehead, in. Open the screen. In. Down. Up. Gulp. Swallow. Down. Rest. One more. Hands up. Open the screen. In. Down. Up. Gulp. Swallow. Down. Now just stay there relaxed. Now this time we're going to do it for the sun. So when we do the hands out, think that you're opening to the vital energy of the sun. Without the sun, we would be nothing. Nothing would be here. The sun is the basis of every life force in our world. So feel that you're opening up to the sun. And when you do this bit, feel that you're gathering the energy of the sun to give you the fire that you need to be healthy and activated and well. And know that the sun is graciously and happily sharing that with you. So this time, think sun. So hands up. Open the screen to the sun and grab the sun. Down, up, gulping in the sun's energy, swallowing the sun into your own energetic system, and relax. One more time, hands up. And opening the screen to the sun's beauty and power, and gathering the sun. Down, up, gulping in the sun's energy, swallowing it into your own energy system, and relax. Stay there for a few minutes. Keep your eyes closed. And we're going to, in a minute, we're going to just turn around and face the sun, because for all of us here, the sun will be setting in the next hour or so. So even though we can't see the sun, we're going to turn in the direction of where we know the sun is setting. So point, those who've got your cameras on, point to the west. Where's your sun setting? Okay, I'm over that. I'm behind. We've got all directions. So long as you know, the one camera's off, so long as you know, my dears, where's your sun setting? So we're going to turn around and face the setting sun, and imagine when we're doing it that the setting sun is just so willingly and happily sharing you its beautiful, healthy energy. So ready? I'll come a bit closer so you can see. Eyes closed unless you need to watch me. Hands on forehead. Open the screen to the beautiful setting sun, grabbing its energy, pulling it down up into your system and gulping it in, swallowing it down, and standing still. And again, hands to forehead, opening the screen to our magnificent sun that we're so grateful for every day, gathering it in, pulling it down and up, gulping it in, swallowing it down, and standing still. And gently turn around the opposite direction where the moon is going to rise. And right now, the moon is waning. It's only about 25% at the moment. It's still going down, down, down the size of the moon. So we'll have a new moon in maybe 3 or 4 days. So the actual moon will rise about 1 a.m. But it doesn't matter. It's not that far over the horizon, and just it's a fairly small moon at this stage. So turn around to the direction of where the moon's going to rise, and this time think about the moon and the balance that the moon is to the sun. The sun is for all. For all cultures, really, the sun is a very masculine energy because it's life, it's heat, it's power. It has enormous ability to create, but also to destroy. It's a very, very vital, very masculine energy. But in all cultures, the moon is opposite. It's seen as feminine, soft, and more creative, subtle, energetic. with the moon, it's very water-based, and the feminine is seen as a water-based quality. So that, as we know, the moon is responsible for making the tides rise because the moon pulls water towards it. So as the moon is traveling around the earth, it's pulling the water with it. So when we have a full moon, that's why there's always been, sayings about lunatics, lunar moon, because as we're, almost 70% water in our body. So as the moon affects the tides, the moon also affects the water in our body because we are predominantly water. So it also makes the water in our body move. And so when it's on a full moon, it just brings out or exaggerates whatever state you're in. So for people who are mentally unwell, it makes them feel more unwell. For people who are happy and peaceful, it makes them feel even more so. So whenever it's a full moon, it's a very good practice to take notice of the heightened energy. It's a different energy to the sun. If you notice it, if you watch it in yourself, you'll notice that it's energizing in a different way to the sun, but it definitely does have an energizing feeling. And on nights of the full moon, or the few days before, the few days after, if you go outside and watch the sky, you can even feel with the animals and the plants, everything seems to be responding to the brilliant moon, feminine, soft, creative energy. As I say, now it's not a full moon, it's going down, 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 almost to a nothing moon before it starts again. But we're going to concentrate on this feminine, creative energy, all of which we need a balance of. Masculine and feminine, we need a balance of. So facing the direction of the moon, breathing in, hands up to forehead, breathing out, opening the screen to the beautiful feminine moon. Drawing it in, down, up, gulping it in, swallowing the beautiful moon energy into our system and relaxing. And again, breathing in, feeling that, just standing here for a minute, breathing in and out gently, hands on your forehead. The third eye, or the forehead, is also something that's very related to the energy of the moon. Breathing out and opening this screen to the moon, bringing it in, down, up, and gulping it in. Going down and just standing for a minute. It doesn't matter if you don't really know what relevance the sun or moon or any natural element has on your body. The thing is that we are earth, made of earth. We are made of all the elements. We come from the earth. We're all interrelated, not only as a physical body, but as energetic bodies. So it doesn't matter if we don't understand the intricacies of how we're related. The thing is, our body is related to everything around us because we come from the earth, and all our energy systems at all the different levels are also impacted by our relationship with the world around us. So it's not something we need to intellectualize or think about. We just open ourselves to it. And the most important thing is we want to harmonize with it, because the sun and the moon and everything else of that nature were here long, long before us. They'll be here long after we're gone. So it's definitely in our interest to align ourselves with those elements. So hand up to forehead, breathing in, opening ourselves to the moon, gathering it in, down, up, gulping, swallowing the moon's beautiful, peaceful energy. And straight away again, hands up to forehead, opening to the moon, gathering it in, down, up, gulping it in, swallowing, down. Now just turning it back around, but keep your eyes closed. I'm going to put on the wave music again because we've just been doing the moon. And this time we're just going to move. I can't speak when the music's on. We're going to move like waves, but in particular, I want you to move your head. So turning around this way, Lib, turning around facing this way. I want you to move your head. If you have a problem with your neck, then just do it very gently. But this movement, side to side, is a very spiritually significant movement. And if you study the dances and the movement patterns of many religions of the world, it will have this type of movement because it's a hypnotic movement for the body, but also it sort of aligns the spiritual systems and the energy systems so that they become more open to spiritual energy. So we're going to move like this and feel that we're drawing in the moon energy into our body. And just come and sit down. So you can either sit in a chair or on the floor, whichever you want. And close your eyes. We're just going to do 5 more minutes sitting down. And we've already moved a lot. So this is just going to be a very simple breathing thing of just breathing in, breathing out. So we're going up the central meridian to the crown, to back down to the base. In, out, breathing in, out. We're going to do that. I'm going to put a gentle song on Okay. So breathing in, breathing out. We're just going to do that. Sit with a straight back, straight but relaxed. And I'm going to put a song on that's about gratitude. Whatever comes up, comes up. Don't stress, don't fight it. If the song comes on and you don't feel grateful, that's all right. Just whatever comes up, let it come up, because your energy system knows how to make itself better. So your job is just breathing into the crown, breathing out, and I'll share the song.
I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am. I'm grateful, more than I ever been. Yes, I'm grateful, full to the brim. I'm grateful, more than I ever been. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Grateful I woke up again. Woke up and took a breath again, Yahweh. Looked up and saw the sun again. I'm grateful for the eyes I have. Amen. I'm moving on my toes again. I'm grateful for the wind against my face. I'm grateful for the sensation of a loved one's embrace. I'm grateful for the lemon juice upon my lips. I'm grateful I can smile when I'm tasting it. I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am. Yes, I'm grateful, more than I've ever been. It's true, yeah, it's true, yeah. I'm grateful, full to the brim. I am. Yes, I'm grateful, more than I've ever been. It's true, yeah, it's true, yeah.
Darlings, and we've got 3 minutes left. I'll just leave you all unmuted. Would anyone like to say how that practice made them feel, or if anything came up in the practice, or something that was easy or something that was difficult about that practice?
Found the energy flowed fairly well. It was the feminine energy.
Have more moon energy in you.
I think at the moment I do.
I found it very peaceful and yet invigorating.
Oh yes, Kerry. I think that's what Robert said about all these practices, that exactly that they're designed to do those two different things, that it's meant to bring peace, but it's also meant to bring a lot of energy to your system, because in this spiritual practice, we don't want to just become lethargic and fall asleep. We want to feel calm, but ready to take on life and not tired. So that's a very good
Yes.
by the way, I'm just thinking Robert's name, of course, wasn't Robert because he was a little Chinese boy. I can't remember his name now. It was a Chinese one, of course. But when he was at university, he took an English subject to prepare himself to go to the West. That was the thing. And the teacher had said, pick an English name before you come to the class. Well, he had forgotten to pick an English name. And when the teacher asked him what his name was, for some reason, Robert just popped in his mind. So then they kept calling him Robert. So that's how he got the name of Robert as his English name. And he's kept it his whole life. Thank you very much for coming. You all have a beautiful week. And remember those two elements that you can, anything that distressing happens or anything that is troubling you or worrying you, you go, I have the ability to make myself feel calm about this and trust that everything will be all right. And also tell yourself, my life is precious. When I want to wake up in the morning, I want to feel that I'm ready for my day, that there's things I can do and that I'll have the energy and the motivation to do it. I'll see you later on, my loves.